Hi, Susan Marot here from Succeed at Selling, and welcome to day 3 of your 9-day sales challenge. And today we're talking about step 3 of the sales process, which is all about questioning. Now, I really like the questioning phase of the sales process because it's when you're getting to the real interesting stuff. It's when you find out a lot more about your prospect. And the reason you need to find a lot more out about your prospect is that you need to find out what their pain is, what their problem is, what their need is. Because until you can find out exactly what the problem is, the pain, the need that they have, you won't be able to present and offer a solution to solve it. So you really need to understand what their pain and their problem is. Okay, so the way that you do that is twofold, and I'm going to go into both of those. So the first thing that you do is you ask great questions. Now, the best questions are short and sweet. And there are 2 types of questions that you can ask. You've maybe heard of them before: open and closed questions. Now, open questions always begin with the following words: who, what, when, where, and how. When you have a question that begins with one of those 5 words, you have an open question. Because it is very difficult to answer any question that begins with who, what, when, where, or how, and answer it with a yes or a no. Because what you're trying to find is information. You want to get your prospect talking about their pain and their problem. And those 5 question words will solve that for you. They will get your customer, your prospect, talking about them, their business, and hopefully their pain and their problem. You do use closed questions from time to time, really to confirm that you've understood what they're saying and to clarify. You could say they're little trial closes, but they're not really a formal close. They're just really there to clarify and confirm. Now, what I'd like you to do before tomorrow and after this session is to make a list of some ideal questions that you want to ask your prospect that begins with who, what, when, where, and how. And what you'll do is write those questions down and read them before you go and see your next prospect. It will really help. Now, the second thing that you need to do during the questioning phase of the sales process, and it might sound incredibly obvious, but many people fail to do it correctly, is to actively listen to the client. Now, active listening is really important. It shows that you're really interested in them and their business. And let's face it, we will talk quite openly to people that we think are interested in us, won't we? So some of the things to help make sure that you're actively listening to what your client is saying is, make an effort to listen to them. Really show with your body language that you're listening to everything that they say. This is why note-taking is extremely useful. Really demonstrate you intend to stay focused on what the other person is saying. Show that with your body language, that you're interested in them. And show that you intend to fully understand what it is that they have said and how important that is to them. And you can do that by continually confirming that you're still listening through expression, nodding, sounds, ums, yes, that sort of thing. That will help you to understand. And gestures as well. Again, note-taking. So also understand the use of, clarifying questions. Use these closed clarifying questions to repeat or to summarize what has been said. You might want to offer some observations and conclusions at that point as well to show that you really do understand what their pain or their problem is. And that's the key thing, is to find out what your prospect's pain and problem is, because I think I said it at the start, you really need to know what that is before you move forward to the presentation phase of the sales process. Because If you start presenting and you don't know what their pain is, how can you present a solution to a problem you haven't uncovered? Think about it. And that maybe helps explain why it's always, quite important to use the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. When you're actively listening, you're keeping that balance, that 80-20 balance. Because the more you stay below that 20% of talking, you're more likely to get a lot more information out of the 80% of the time that your prospect is talking. They're more likely to tell you their pain and their problem, which you can then go on to solve. Okay, look, I really hope you enjoyed that session. It's so in-depth questioning and there's so much more to it. But I really wanted to get over the two main points, which are to ask big open questions using who, what, when, where and how, and also show clearly that you are really listening to what your prospect is saying, that you're really keen to understand their pain and their problem because you want to solve it. You can solve it. Look, I hope you enjoyed day 3 of the 9-day sales challenge, and I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Until then, good luck and happy selling. Bye-bye.